welcome back. You caught me on my little run. It's triathlon time, baby. Let's go. Welcome back, YouTube, to another edition of, well, more information. So last week I kind of briefly mentioned the triathlon and the Seoul Spring Festival. Today we're going to dive in, get some more information, talk about this beautiful medal and how you can participate in the triathlon as well. So let's get going. So first off, what is the triathlon? Well, it's called the MyPace Hangang Triathlon Festival. So it's not even just a triathlon, it's a festival on top of that. As I mentioned in the previous video, you can go on this website here where you can go ahead and register for the triathlon. I believe Tracy also has tickets available for you to buy and book. However, Tracy, I don't really like that much because they don't give much detail on the actual event. So I think the Seoul Pass is way better. Now then, I want to break down the triathlon in general, what it is, MyPace. What is MyPace Triathlon? Well, MyPace is at your leisure. That's why it's called MyPace, because this triathlon is not a try-hard triathlon. A lot of you might be thinking, Kevin, I can't do a triathlon. That's for pro athletes. Do I look like a professional athlete? No, I am definitely not a professional athlete, not for a real triathlon at least. I did do last year's triathlon. It was a lot of fun with the Triathlon Festival. And I wanted to kind of break it down for anyone who might be thinking about it or traveling around in Seoul or Korea in that time, or if you're already living here, it could be something really new and interesting to do. And I think that this event is really cool. So this is the third triathlon that they've done now. They started this back in 2024. So we can expect it to be a fully reoccurring event, I guess. But I was not sure if they would do it again. You never know with the Seoul government. Sometimes they do things and then sometimes they just stop it. So I'm glad that they're doing it again this year, though. Let me break it down what the Triathlon Festival exactly is. So this year there are 3 courses: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Last year they only had 2, so the beginner is the new course that they're adding this year. No matter which course you take, you can still take it at your pace. And in Korean it is 시험 as well, that's what it translates to. So you can really, whether it's a hard course or not, you can go at your own pace. You don't have to worry about time or anything like that.
So if we're looking at the beginner one here, it has swimming for 200 meters and cycling for 10K and running for 5K. Overall, not too bad.
So the beginner is perfect for anyone who really is not confident in their athletic skills, or for kids. I think it's viable either way. The intermediate course, which is what I did last year, because they only had intermediate and advanced. The intermediate course is 300 meters of swimming, a little bit higher or a little bit longer, with 10 kilometers of biking and 5 kilometers of running. Actually, it was not too bad. It was actually, the hardest part was the swimming. That was the hardest part. That was the one that kicked my butt, and I wish that I was a little bit more prepared for that. And then the advanced course, which is what I'm doing this year, the advanced course is a severe jump in athleticism. 1 kilometer of swimming with 20 kilometers of biking and 10 kilometers of running. That is a lot. That is a lot.
And I also want to just correct something. I had said that the intermediate was 300 meters of swimming, 10 kilometers of biking, and 5 kilometers of running, but they actually had changed it this year. So intermediate is now 500 meters of swimming, 15 kilometers of biking, and 7 kilometers of running. So this is actually quite a difference from last year. What happened is now that the beginner 2 is what intermediate was last year, and then they actually have 2 beginner options. So even though there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced, you can separate the beginner one, and the prices are actually all the same. There's no difference between the prices because it's still going to be the triathlon either way.
So, which course is best for you? Well, honestly, it just depends on your actual athletic skills, so choose based off of that. There are some details that you do need to know depending which course you take. What gear you need to bring, right? Gear is very important. For all courses, it is especially recommended that you bring goggles and a swimming cap. But for the beginner and advanced, it's less mandatory, but more of like it's strongly urged, especially for the intermediate. However, for the advanced course is the only one that has different rules, where everything is pretty much mandatory, except for the time thing. So you have to wear goggles and a swimming cap for the advanced course. There is no exceptions to this. As well as for the bike ride, you do need to wear a helmet or bring a helmet. I believe they do not provide these things. So for that, you have to bring your own helmet, have to bring your own swimming cap and goggles. For the beginner and intermediate course, they don't require you or push you to wear a helmet, but if you want to feel safe, wear one anyways. Safety first. Lastly, for the intermediate course, for the swimming section, besides goggles and a swimming cap, you are required to bring a wetsuit. That is non-negotiable. You have to wear a wetsuit. For the beginner and intermediate courses, no wetsuit is needed. Now, I get it. It kind of sucks having to get a wetsuit or wear a wetsuit, but safety first, as always. I think they are stricter on that because you're swimming a kilometer. And even though it's going to be in June, which reminds me, I forgot to mention the dates for this. The triathlon is going to be from June 5th to June 7th. It's a 3-day festival event. But yeah, the swimming, since it's a kilometer, and even if it's in June, the Han River could be a little bit cold, so they want you to be insulated. As well as, it's not really the cleanest river in the world. It's not completely dirty. I swam in it last year for the 300 meters. Totally fine, no problems. But yeah, you're swimming a lot long distance, so it could be better to wear a wetsuit in that case. What if I don't have a wetsuit, Kevin? That's okay. They have rentals. So you can rent a wetsuit at a price of 20,000 won. I think that's a little too expensive. I would have been maybe okay with 15,000 won for a rental suit. I think 10,000 won would have been better. So you can let me know down in the comments below if 20,000 is too expensive. I think it's too expensive for a rental wetsuit, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So anyways, if you have your own wetsuit, bring that. Otherwise, there are rentals. And if you look down here on the website, they do actually have a graph, which is really nice. They explain in detail what size is suitable for you based off of your height and weight. So check that out and get the appropriate wetsuit. The last thing you want is to be stuck with a wetsuit that doesn't fit. So that's, yeah, choose the right one. Now, as I mentioned before, with the gear, you only need the swimming goggles and you only need the swimming cap and the goggles. But what about bikes? What about like gear, like running shoes and all that? Well, you bring that stuff. However, you don't need to actually bring a bike either. If you have a bike, great, you want to bring it, awesome. But through the triathlon, they actually bring out all these darungis, and that's the bike you can use for the triathlon. It's free to use, you don't have to pay or anything. Now then, you have learned pretty much everything there is to the triathlon. It's metal. So you can notice that with this medal there are 3 rings, and each ring actually shows the different events that I did. So if you only do one of them, you only get one. It actually has the date. Well, it's really nice. It's a pretty simple medal. I like it. It's a good concept. I don't know if they'll do the same medal. I assume they probably will. So it's kind of cool that you get to show and prove that you did all of them as opposed to just getting a medal. I think it's a nice way of showing off for the triathlon. But that's everything you need to know about the triathlon. I've showed you where to register. I've showed you how to get the tickets. I've showed you what it is, or I've talked about in detail what the triathlon is. And I said it's a 3-day festival. That does not mean every event is separated by day. That just means that they have the triathlon each day, so you can freely choose Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to do your event. I will be going Friday at 10 a.m. So I think for anyone who's looking for a challenge, the advanced course is great. But for anyone who just wants to try it out, I highly recommend the intermediate course, just because it's a good challenge, but it's not really too difficult. Now, if you're not really great at swimming, that's totally okay. As I said before, you don't even have to do it. You can take all day to do this event. I believe they start at 9 a.m. and I think the actual event wraps up at like 6 p.m., but there are still stuff around. As I said, it's a festival, so there's concert, there's food, there's little knickknacks you can get, little pop-ups and things like that. Like little, Red Bull was there last year, for example, things like that. So there's a lot of things to do besides actual event. So if you're someone who wants to enjoy the festival atmosphere, or you weren't able to get a ticket, or you just don't want to do exercise but enjoy the festivities, do that. That's also totally great. I think it's such a cool vibe, and I'm very, very, very excited to go there this year. I think it's going to be all kinds of fun. Now then, I think I've explained the triathlon long enough. Last thing I want to talk about is the Seoul Spring Festival. So let's go check it out real quick. I'm not actually going to be going around all day doing the Seoul Spring Festival, but I just kind of want to show off what it looks like for anyone who's visiting Seoul, in Seoul, or just looking for something to do. Let's go check it out. Alright, YouTube, we are enjoying that.
So here we got the Everytime events. This is by Jeongwanjang. Personally, one of my favorite companies in Korea. What is Jeongwanjang? It's just ginseng. Great ginseng. Great product. This is just one of the pop-ups that are here in Yoinaru or in Hangang Park. And it doesn't matter what Hangang Park you go to, whether it's Hangang Mapo, Hangang Jamshir, Hangang, anywhere along Hangang, there are lots of events going on. So you can find all kinds of stuff to do. Today it's not as busy because they're mostly on the weekend is when like all the big events are going on, or where there's lots of stuff. But any day there's always pop-ups and things to see. I think they even have the boat running right now. They used to not have the boat running because I think it was like broken, but good to see that it's up and running, so you can take the boat again along the river, which is really nice. Hey YouTube, so as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, sorry for the mic quality being a little bit kind of wonky, so I wanted to finish up the end of this video back inside where the microphone is actually working. So once again, I hope anyone that's watching this video, I hope you are interested in and thinking about going and checking out the Seoul Hangang Spring Festival. It is really cool. I was there for a short time. I actually just got back from doing it, and I got all these products from the Everytime event. This one was a special one because I got first place. What was the event exactly? You just had to pedal on a bike for 40 seconds, and there's like lights that would go up. It would be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then at the end it said him. And there's other prizes that they give you for just uploading on Instagram. And then this is the basic one that they'll give you. This is their new product, the mango Everytime. I've tried it before. It's good. I'm not a big fan of the fruit with ginseng, to be honest, but the basic ginseng is really nice. And this is my first time trying this one. Very good, very strong. I highly recommend ginseng products for anyone looking for some health products. Anyways, that's not the main point. This was just something that was cool to do. I hope that all of you watching it on Saturday will be able to take the time to go out, get some ginseng for yourself, and or on maybe on Sunday as well. But yeah, sorry for the microphone quality. Didn't expect it to connect to my headphones like that, so that is a big shame, but overall the information is still there. I highly recommend anyone going to register for the triathlon, as well as just going to visit the Seoul Spring Festival. There's a lot of things to do this month, and as I mentioned before, it lasts till May 5th. That's a long time. It's a long time for a festival, so take advantage. Go there. There's lots of free things to get, lots of goodies like this Chongwon. That's like this stuff right here, by the way. This bag, I don't remember the actual price, but this one bag is like at least over 50,000 won. I guarantee you that everything in this bag is more than 50,000 won. Each product, like ginseng, is not a cheap product. It's very expensive. So if you can get this for free, brother, you gotta get it. So yeah, anyways, Seoul Spring Festival, triathlon, go do it. And thanks for watching, YouTube. If you like what I do, like, subscribe down below. It really helps out. I'll make sure next time to check the microphone before we do the recording. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. And as always, YouTube, I'll see you next time for another awesome video. Peace out.